Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first Intersect Town Hall of 2026. January has been a very busy month and a productive one, so to say, and it's, of course, great to see such strong participation across the community. And of course, we're coming together, all of us here, for the first Intersect Town Hall of 2026, which leads me to a warm welcome to everyone who's watching us live on YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and of course, everyone who will be catching the recording later on. So today's town hall really is to sort of set the tone for the rest of the year ahead. And we're going to be sharing a lot of leadership updates, outlining some key processes, discussing long-term strategies, events, and of course, we're going to be closing with some amazing committee updates. So let me just share the agenda with you guys before we go ahead. So the agenda really is a simple one, but really packed. The first one's, of course, the welcoming and opening remarks by the Intersect leadership, Jack. Then we have the Security Initiative Spotlight by Mike, budget process overview. This is going to be a tag team between Lloyd and Simo. And then we have the Cardano 2030 Vision and Strategy by Lorenzo, and then the upcoming event previews by Laura, and then, of course, our committee updates, MCC and GMC. MCC will be taken up by Sanjaya and GMC by Anuj. So let me bring everybody up, if I may. Let me take off this thing first. Okay. Yeah. Right. So to begin, I would like to briefly reemphasize that there was an important leadership update, of course, at Intersect. And as many of you have seen, of course, you have seen all these X posts of course, Jack Brinks stepping into our executive director position. And I want to take this opportunity to bring Jack on the stage and go through what's going on in his mind now that he's executive director, not executive director interim. It is going to be a habit not to put the interim at the back. So yeah, Jack, you may want to take the stage.
Yeah, thanks, Abs. Yeah, hi everybody. Happy Thursday. I thought it was Friday, but it's not Friday. It's Thursday. Nearly there. So yeah, thanks everybody for all the support over the period of sort of last 6 months or so when I was doing the interim role. Yeah, I'm pleased and grateful that I can do the role permanently, and thank you to the board and everyone that's supported me so far, and the team, of course, Abs and everyone at Intersect. So yeah, I think maybe starting with what my role is and what I'm sort of trying to do here at Intersect. And really for me, the theme is coherence, and having more of coherence in 2026. 2025 was definitely a year of intense learnings and reflections. Lots of things went well, lots of things didn't go as well as they should have gone, and we learned a ton of things in the process. And I think that's something that we have to move forward with in a better way, in a more mature way, and that is sort of under the theme of being coherent with the work that's happening across Intersect. Intersect sort of has three main functions or main services. The first one is that we have our committee-led and member-led organization. So the board is majority elected, as we know, and we have all elected seats serving our committees. And members at Intersect are ultimately here to help address and solve the biggest challenges and opportunities facing the Cardano ecosystem. And we try and do that in an open forum and try and distributing out decision-making and recommendations and how we move forward as an ecosystem, rather than just being one or two sort of individuals or a handful of individuals making decisions. That's no longer the case, as we know. We saw lots of that evidence last year, and I really feel like it's actually kicked strongly into gear in 2026. And essentially that's segmenting ourselves around this long-term vision for Cardano, which is in the 2030 vision that the product committee put out. And that speaks very clearly into what the budget process is going to look like and what we kind of fund in 2026 and beyond, linking much more to a sort of shared set of goals, things that we can point to. So the idea is more clarity from the vision to budget and then through to delivery. So yeah, let's go jumping into that a little bit here. I just want to give some credit to the product committee and the budget committee and all the contributing members that have helped there. They've been doing a ton of work. I think much of that has been seen already by the community, but there's more coming over the next week and into February, because we'll be doing some info actions. I'll get to that in a second. And actually, I might save that because I think Lloyd and Simo might talk a bit more about the budget process, so I won't go into too much detail. But the point is that we're going to be having, we've got a 2030 vision that was passed by the community with a super majority, so that was really well supported. So thanks everyone for backing that. What that does do is it means that we're going to have clearer KPIs, clearer milestones related to what we need to try and achieve over the next 3 to 4 years and 5 years. And ultimately that means a better link to why something is funded and then what it's expected to deliver as a result of that. And so that's all about sort of return on investment from the Treasury, for example, into either TVL, transaction volume, or even payback to the Treasury, depending on the type of loan or grant, for example, that we're looking at now for sort of more templating that for 2026. And so my role as an ED is to make sure that all connects as cleanly as it possibly can. Vision feeds the roadmap feeds the budget, and then the budget feeds delivery that can actually be tracked. And if we do this well, DREPs and members not just voting on those ideas, they're going to be approving work that has clear intent, measurable outcomes, and hopefully some visibility as well to the end. Which links me to the administration role. So I jumped about a bit there. So there's, as I said, there's 3 things. One is that committee and member-led organization that solves the biggest challenges facing the ecosystem. And then we have what we call the administration function, which is a bit of a professional service for Intersect. We've been doing it for roughly 6 months with Treasury, managing Treasury. And we at the moment administer over 300 million. We don't manage the Treasury, by the way, but we manage and administer over 300 million ADA that's come from the Treasury and in this administration capacity. And we've obviously been learning a lot in the last 6 months, speaking to vendors nearly every day, helping them with their progress and making sure it's tracked properly, and also working with DREPs on like what do they need to see more of, what can be improved. And of course, there's loads of improvements we can make. So it's good that we've got plenty of things to get stuck into. The administration role is a constitutional role. It exists because the community approved Treasury funded work. Someone has to administer it safely with the safeguards in there around disbursements, payment disbursements. We have to manage it consistently as well. And then as also really importantly, as transparently as possible, so that the community can self-audit progress that is being made with the Treasury spending. So what we are looking at is a bit of sort of proactive and reactive. We've obviously seen some of the comments and issues and some of the sensitivities raised over the last few weeks. We've also been quite proactive with looking at how does the smart contract dashboard that we currently have, where does that need to evolve to? What kind of new features do we need to help vendors to be able to add more things in and have more features in the smart contract dashboard as they currently have, and that the community have more opportunities to like really dig into the details in a clearer way that's not as sort of I guess clunky is probably a bit unfair, but it's a bit harder to dive into the details currently, so we want to make sure that's easier. As part of that, what we're trying to do is, so as I said, there'll be a version 2 of the smart contract framework, just to be clear, that'll be coming out for the next budget process, and Sunday Labs are helping us work on new features for the next smart contract framework. And we're also introducing milestone spot checks, so audits, technical audits, where we have lots of technical proposals that were funded last year. How are they actually progressing with and auditing that, on top of our own audits? So it's adding additional rigor and resilience into the processes that we have. So we'll be starting that in February. We've got 2 fantastic firms that we're talking to at the moment. So Deep Quadrant's one of them. They've been around in the ecosystem for many years. They'll be supporting with spot check audits. We're also talking to M Labs as well to help with that. The idea that I want to pursue with auditing is that they're always on retainers. So it's not like we just pick a period and do it. We have it consistently on as an administration function. So we're spot checking work, particularly from a technical perspective, throughout the delivery of that work. So that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to doing that, and that just strengthens the trust that the community need and we all need for when we manage those kind of fundings and those deliveries. So let me just, I'm just checking on my list actually what else we're doing. We are essentially trying to focus on much more substance and not process confusion. Often in a coordinating role like Intersect plays, and trying to coordinate an ecosystem like Cardano is incredibly difficult, and we have to just try and lean into what does the community really need coordination for? What are they? Where's the value in coordination? Because we are a decentralized network, and self-organizing is really important. In fact, we saw a really good example of self-organized effort with the CC last December, noticing that we were going to have a gap with the net change limit, and they put in through the extension by themselves, right? There was no coordination effort there from Intersect. It was independent and self-organized, which is exactly the kind of thing that we need in the ecosystem to maintain and have that strength there. So that was good. But so as a result of that, how do we make our processes less confusing, a bit clearer, predictable timelines? And so when I speak to the budget process, we'll be talking about this in the next couple of weeks, but the timeline will be going out for the community to see exactly the steps that the budget committee have come up with that's marked improvements from last year. In fact, we'll be doing an info action to get validation on the process itself, so we can avoid having a change in the process mid-flight, which we had last year. So we want to try and change that. And I guess that's really the point, is that you can see what's happening across the year with some of the large and key initiatives. And there are also, I guess, pinch points in the year as well. So spring this year is going to be quite busy. We're going to have an upgrade coming to Cardano, so it will be version 11 of the node. That will be coming out in March or April, give or take, depending on the node release and testing and various other sort of ecosystem readiness. But that will be coming out soon. We'll be running our own committee elections in April too. The CC election process will start again because there are a few members of the CC that will be their terms expire in the summer this year, so we need to sort of prep and get ahead for that. And of course, the budget process is also going to run in the process of this in the spring as well. So it's lots going on, and now's the time to really make people aware of that. Of course, communicate those timelines so that people understand, like, okay, I'm going to get involved in in this and this or whatever. So ultimately, we're trying to move forward with looking longer ahead and not just focusing on like what's right in front of us today, and looking into 2026, 2027, and yeah, further ahead about what does Cardano need to achieve and succeed. The 2030 vision is ambitious, but it's very much part of, or the key driver with what do we need to focus on as an ecosystem, and helping to align us, D-Reps, everyone to those shared sort of goals and purposes. Yeah, I think for me that, but the last point actually is that there are still many problems we have at Intersect that we need to solve, and those are how do members contribute more easily, more quickly. When you join Intersect, it's not necessarily clear on where you can get cracking and where can you get started, immediately. And that's what we want to try and solve with lots of different tooling and developments that Lorenzo and the team may talk a little bit about. Sorry if you're not talking about that today, Lorenzo, but that's some of the stuff that we want to bring forward in Q1 and Q2 with our members area and various other sort of tooling that we can help committees and members contribute quickly. There are lots of things we need to get done in Cardano. We know that it has to be a year about growth and interoperability, connections and bridges, and all the stuff that the Pentad and that group are working on. Obviously, I'm part of that too. And Intersect is a non-voting member in the Pentad, but fulfilling sort of this administration role and trying to connect these things quickly as possible. We're in a good position where we can move very quickly, and that's something else that I really love about this job and I love about Intersect, is that we actually can move exceptionally fast as an organization, despite it being, very decentralized in the sense of it's member-led, and that we're speaking to multiple different needs and wants from the ecosystem. So despite all of those challenges, we're actually still able to move really quickly. And I love that part about this job, and it's super executional, and I really thrive in that environment. So I'm glad that I'm here to do it still. I do wake up and really enjoy my job, so it's a good place to be, a privileged place. So with that, maybe I'll pause and leave it back to you, Abs. But I just want to thank everyone for the support that last year. I'm really, really optimistic this year. I think Charles said it yesterday or the day before that February is going to be a big month. Looking forward to some of the announcements we're going to be able to make with the other members of the Pentad. And Cardano is just going to be off the rails and flying, in the next months and years to come. So Thank you, everybody. I'll hand back to you, Abs.
Thank you, Jack, for setting that stage. And I think I'll speak for the whole Insect team. Having you as ED is just amazing because your set of guidance and leadership is, I know that 2026 is going to be rocking. So can't wait. Exciting times ahead for us. So, yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jack. Thank you. So now we can move on to another important update to Insect. In addition to the recent leadership transition, of course, we like to inform you guys that we have formally welcomed Mike Hornan as the Intersect Security Incident Officer. Hi, Mike. Do you hear us? Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Mike. So, yeah, take the stage and just give us a brief overview of what you're going to be working on and what sort of security, uh, initiatives you'll be taking for this 2026 and more. And yeah, stage is yours, Mike.
Sure, absolutely. So basically, my role is to be the first responder, and I'll do also the triage of the vulnerability that's been reported through the security mail of Intersect. But also, I'm already on, but I'll be monitoring the mainnet and the different networks for possible vulnerabilities or if something ever happens so that we can respond right away. And I also act as a coordinator to gather the relevant parties who are going to work on fix and make sure that I track what's going on. So there's things I can disclose. There's other things I cannot. I hope you understand. But again, yes. So as soon as there's a release that has some security features on it, so my role is also to coordinate with the SPOs and make sure that they understand the importance of making uh, this or that upgrade. And yeah, so recently, what I've been working on, I I started to create the monitor and the DNS record of what we're going to be using at Intersect to track the different networks. It's not yet finished, but it's progressing because I just recently started. Um, what else? Yes, the procedure for. Let's hope it's never going to happen, but I do have to do this as part of my work to make sure that if we encounter a catastrophic event which would break the network, that we have a very, very, very clear procedure so that we can be efficient into fixing the network as fast as possible, so we don't end up like other blockchains, if I may say. Um, yeah, so I gotta, in a way, dumb it down to make sure that everyone can understand and that it's easy enough for them to use in order to fix the blockchain very fast. And that's part of my role in Intersect.
Yeah, Abs, if I could just jump in. Yeah, thanks, Mike. I'm really pleased you're here, Mike, by the way. Yeah, absolutely tremendous that you've joined us. Really pleased, as I've told you multiple times. We are part of our technical coordination function at Intersect, which is actually the third thing, which I forgot to mention. So we have administration, member-led stuff, and then technical coordination. Technical coordination is becoming a lot bigger. We have new nodes coming through with Amaru and Dingo, loads of different nodes that are coming in, which are exciting, but present obviously new challenges to Cardano. And Intersect currently steward the Haskell component to Cardano, which is obviously the core node at the moment, but that will start to distribute and be a bit more decentralized, which is super exciting. And how do we help coordinate and involve ourselves with all the developments work that's happening with the other teams? So we're looking at expanding that as part of our work in 2026, alongside incident management, as you've rightly called out and spoken about, Mike. Part of that is also some of the reorg we're doing internally. So the technical coordination team are becoming sort of one strong unit, and that's going to include some new special technical advisors. So I can do a little bit of alpha that Sam Leathers will be joining us as a special technical advisor, which is super exciting. So we're working with you, Mike, and others. Can't wait for him to start as well. Maybe a couple of other special technical advisors that we're bringing on board to really strengthen Cardano's resilience in this area, and also Intersect's response capacity to this kind of stuff. As you sort of mentioned as well, Mike, we had a really good demonstration of how well the ecosystem responded back in November with the mainnet incident. The fact that we upgraded the network in 12 hours, give or take, was phenomenal. Also extreme, And we need to have a bit more predictability and more resilience there, as Mike is working on now. So as soon as that sort of happened, it was a light bulb for me and the board that we needed to respond quickly to be able to build out the capability even further at Intersect. We did a great job, by the way, in November, but there, we took lessons and learned from that. We have to move forward quickly, which we've done. So big part of my effort this last couple of months has been around this function in sort of totality. And it will continue. So yeah, no diversity, hard fork coordination and upgrades, incident management. So yeah, anyway, so I just wanted to jump in and give a bit broader context to that whole sort of function at Intersect. But yeah, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Mike. Mike, before we go to the next segment, I just want to ask, what is the most exciting thing you're looking forward to this year? Just if you had to pick one.
The hard fork. I'm very excited, overly excited by that.
Right.
Yes. So we're actively testing right now on testnet, and I can't wait for the 10.6.2 to be released so we can play with it. So yeah, that's right now what I'm excited about.
Well, there you guys have it. So yeah, looking forward to working with you, Mike, in 2026 and more. So thank you, Mike, thank you, Jack. Right. So we now shift to the next segment, which is the budget process overview. And for this segment, we're going to have a tag team between Lloyd and Simo. You guys both there? Yeah.
We are both here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Stage is yours.
I just got to say that, you have the right security technical lead when the thing he's most excited about is the hard fork. So, Mike, it is amazing to have you on the team, man. You've got that right mix because you've developed those visuals that really explained SanchoNet so well. You took over SanchoNet whenever it counted, when we needed to figure out what was really wrong with it. So again, just the right human being to be in that role. And we appreciate having you here, man. It's so great to see you. So, and let's move into budget discussion now. Simo, why don't you start out and give us a little bit of a overview of where we're at and what we've got going on, and then I'll dive in after you've laid that out.
All right. Thanks a lot, Lloyd. So hello everyone. I'm Simo, and I'm helping the Lloyd and Budget Committee as a project manager, helping them coordinating and facilitating the 2026 budget process. As you all know, we have the net change limit for 2026-2027, which is live on chain. So I would like to encourage all the reps to review the proposal, cast their vote, but also to leave the rationale with their vote, since this feedback is very valuable and it will be reviewed by the committee, and it will help us improve clarity and communication for future iteration of this process. In parallel with that, Budget Committee is currently finalizing the budget process info action, which will define how Intersect will run the annual Cardano budget process going forward. This process includes the stages of proposal intake, feedback, prioritization, and also on-chain action. And over there, we will have the roles of DREP, proposal, and we as administrators. And as you all know, the committee incorporated extensive DREP and community feedback back in 2025. We added detailed rationale of each phase. We have five phases of the budget process, and it's also aligned with the Cardano 2030 vision, which is approved. So budget process info action is expected to be submitted shortly on chain, probably next week. We are just finalizing the board coordination with that and approval, so we can proceed with that. Once this budget process info action is submitted on chain, the budget committee will publish the key dates for 2026 budget cycle, and we will also release the budget process proposal template that vendors and proposals can use to submit funding requests for this year. And Lloyd, can you tell us more about how we structured the template for this year?
Sure. Thanks, Simo. Appreciate the catch up. Just first, a quick touch, folks. There's 2.4 billion ADA that still has not voted on the NCL please get your vote in. It is super important. We need to understand. If you don't agree with it, please put that rationale as to why you don't. And if you do, we appreciate the rationale about why you do. So that is just a super important step, is to get folks voting as soon as possible, especially since, as Jack mentioned at the top, there's quite a concentration of effort that's going to be needed with some voting in April-ish timeframe. So it's really a good idea to get your sea legs under you now and really focus in on getting those votes in as early as you can as DREPs, so that we can respond effectively as, you know, as an administrator, as a body that's trying to work in Intersect in Cardano. We really need that help. Now, what does this look like going into the 2026 process? What are some differences between and lessons learned from 25? First of all, we've developed a template that has, you know, gone through some really extensive peer review. We've taken feedback from vendors who have to fill out the form, from the delivery assurance folks at Intersect that have to take the information out of that form and make it work in the smart contracts. We've taken in that, you know, that feedback from DREPs. What do they need to see in order to make decisions on this information? So with all of that in place, we have developed a template, and that template's going to give you a really good structured way to give information to everyone involved, the DREPs, the delivery assurance folks, so that your process as a vendor is pretty streamlined. There will definitely be room for improvements for next year, where, you know, we don't expect to get it 100% right anytime, but we do expect to make good and then make iterations in future years. So to that point, when we release the budget process info action here in the next a couple of weeks, we'll see the date exactly, but like I've said a few times lately, Cardano has never met a deadline it didn't miss. So we will watch for it and watch this space as we announce the budget process info action. But what you'll see in it is that it sets up a process where DREPs can agree, this is a process we'll follow. Here's a way to change it if we need to. And otherwise, we'll continue to follow that process as years go on. And it's a means to reduce some of the votes that we need, but also set that expectation. Make sure everybody understands the ground rules that we're all playing with. And then the DREPs are the responsible party to set that up for us. So we're giving them a model that we believe will work for them to vote on. And once we've got their approval, we'll continue to work from that. They have the ability to tell us to stop at any point, and they have the ability to tell us that they want changes made to the process. So we feel like this is a really great way to, again, start to streamline what will work as far as Cardano and, in our case, budgeting. But the same kind of setup could happen for lots of work that needs to be done in Cardano from lots of places. So we're hoping we're setting a good example here. We're looking forward to all the feedback that we will get, and we're looking forward to a great Cardano year in 2026. So thank you, Abs.
Thank you, Lloyd. That's positivity all around. The next part is the Cardano 2030, and I've just heard from Lorenzo he's having a hard time with his computer, but that doesn't matter. We can go to Laura to talk about the upcoming events, if that's cool. Laura?
Yes, of course. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Thank you all for being here. I just wanted to give you guys a little brief update on the events that we're planning for the beginning of 2026. Intersect has been confirmed for attendance in three major events in the beginning of the year. The first one is the Cardano Africa Tech Summit, as you might have seen in one of our Twitter posts. And the second one is the Consensus Hong Kong. However, our presence will be different in each of those events. So for the Cardano Africa Tech Summit, we're actually going to have a proper booth. We're going to have a few staff members there. We're going to have Jack and Nick giving talks as official speakers on the website. We're going to have Larissa attending as well. We're going to have, Mike Horton will be there, but not on our remit, right, Mike? And we're also going to have Simo there. So you guys will meet Simo for the first time. I mean, some of you guys did meet him in Berlin last year. But a lot of the Cardano community wasn't present in Berlin. So this is a major opportunity for you guys to meet one of our biggest project managers. Also, for Consensus Hong Kong, we're going to have Abs, your dear host, who's going to be there as part of the bigger Cardano branded booth, which is part of the bigger events strategy put together by CF Emergo and the Rare Evo team. He's going to be representing Intersect there. Honestly, our merchandise is going to look absolutely incredible. So I do recommend you guys going to both events. I can't choose a favorite because both look amazing. But as you've seen from my previous events, we are very known for having good merchandise, very colorful ones, nice design. So if you want to snag one, I recommend you be fast because there's a lot of people in both events. So be quick, grab yours and go home. Well, enjoy the event and then go home. Another thing for the Cardano Africa Tech Summit is we're also going to have tote bags. No, that's for Consensus Hong Kong. That's right. That's for Consensus Hong Kong. I'm mixing things. It's too much to take care of. Yes, that's the case. The designs are different though from the t-shirts and the tote bags. So grab one of each if you can. Walk around in the city, Hong Kong, with your tote bag. And last but not least, my section is quite short, as you probably realized. We're also going to Builderfest. We're going to send a couple of team members, and for that we include Mike Hornan. Now he's going to be on our remit. It's going to be Mike, Boschko, Elena, and Ryan. They're all going to Argentina, to Buenos Aires in March. Is it March? Yes, it's March. Thank you, for Cardano Builderfest. So we'll see you guys there. We're not going to have merchandise though, because I like to call it the super nerd convention, but it's an amazing one. I've always wanted to attend, but I'm not as much of a nerd to be part of it. Jokes aside, Builderfest is one of the most important events in the ecosystem. I would say Web3, not just Cardano, because it's a place where a lot of the people who are spearheading a lot of development parts for Cardano are meeting together and advancements are being made. Conversations start, and most of the conversations that start at Builderfest, I know Mike will be able to testify, things continue past Builderfest, relationships continue past Builderfest, and development does as well. So it's extremely important. I'm not sure if Builderfest is going to be live streamed. I hope it is. But if it's not, and if you have the opportunity to attend, just do it. It's going to be super, super beneficial. It's just great. And of course, you meet your friends. So what problem is that, right? Now I'm going to shut up. I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you so much, Abs. It's great been talking to you guys.
No worries. I just want to add 2 QR codes at the top. So if you guys want to check out the information on the Cardano Africa Tech Summit, you can scan that QR right there. And if you guys want to see our tweet for the Consensus Hong Kong 2026, you can scan the QR, this one right there. It will take you straight to our tweet and all the information. And yeah, looking forward to a lot of the amazing shirts. You know, every time the new year starts, I'm like, I wonder what kind of collection I'm going to make this time on the shirt wise. Because I got to say, a lot of people, like the shirt. In fact, I just want to say this. Yesterday, I was at the gym and someone came running to me going, "Hey, that's a Token 2049 shirt." I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh, wow.
Oh, what? Yeah, I know. Right? And he comes running, and this is like in my own home. It's like far away from Singapore. He goes, I was there and I miss these shirts. And then he talked about, and I know Anuj will be smiling on this. He's from Bangalore. So he goes, I heard you guys did an amazing hackathon last year before IBW. And it's crazy because I don't even stay in Bangalore, and there are people from, in my gym talking about our hackathon. So it's needless to say, it was a huge, it was a major, event last year, and I'm looking forward to all the events, Laura, you organized for us. Thank you. Your work is really appreciated in all angles.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right. Next is Lorenzo to talk about Cardano 2030. I hope his mic and camera is working. His camera is definitely working because I can see
Is it
him.
working? Are you sure?
Yes. Or it's just dummy Lorenzo. Just it's a dummy, right? It's just, yeah. How are you, Lorenzo? You gonna go through the Cardano 2030 from us, the vision?
Yes, I can give some context on the latest updates about the Cardano 2030 proposal. So as many might know, a lot of people have participated in the process last year. So first of all, just a little bit of context. So the product committee of Intersect started a process at the end of 2024 to kind of draft the first community-led vision, mission, and strategy. So during 2025, we started a series of workshops, both remote and in person, alongside also surveys and other ways to submit feedback async. And also we got some small budget allocated from the DREPs to kind of support this workshop. So during 2025, we estimated around 700 plus people have participated in this process. Product committee was able to kind of collect these different inputs and then define an initial draft, which then was refined again with the community. A governance action was submitted, an info action was submitted in at the end of 2025, and last Monday it expired. We can say governance action, info action was approved. Was not it did expire last Monday. The result, as Jack was mentioning earlier, is that over 67% of DREPs supported the info action. There was also very good feedback on how to improve from that. There is a blog. I don't know if you have the link up. So there is a blog that describes kind of all the process that went through and the outcome and what comes next. That's the QR code there. But effectively, right now, the important things are that this is not the end of a cycle. This is like a stepping stone. So it's checking with the DREPs if the direction of the work related to a longer term direction is aligned with what they see. And it seems it is, again, because it reached over 67%. Right now, we know that the vision and the mission have clear support. There were short statement and they got endorsed also in different medias. We do know that the pillars of the strategy at the highest level they have supported too. But also we do know, as it was explicitly mentioned in the info action, that the KPIs, which are part of the strategy framework, are initial and high level. And actually the product committee is working now. There's going to have a follow-up workshop in Nairobi first, now in February. So to refine these KPIs, kind of the current one, make them more precise, and then expand on more detailed KPIs. But also on working on kind of the subset of that, the strategy framework. The product committee acknowledged that it's quite high and it's a framework. It's going to work also with other committees to make sure that a yearly strategic plan is proposed, so that these are the next steps. So more workshops will be available soon. First one again being in Nairobi, and then it's up to the DREPs or to other committees or anyone in the community to use this as they see fit. DREPs can decide how to use this in their decision-making process. The budget committee is leveraging this for the budget process of this year, but again, at the end, it's up to them to decide how and when to leverage this. So this is the high level on the 2030, and of course, if anyone wants to join the conversations, join every Tuesday the product committee meets. You can find details of what we're doing, and there's another QR code there, like the minutes of the latest meetings, other initiatives, options to access some funding if you want to run a workshop yourself in your region or a local gathering, or you have expertise and connection, you want to run a business school. There's a lot of details there. So that's there in the shortest form, and there's also a blog, as I said before. So read through that, and we welcome you in the product committee session. I didn't even present myself. Why am I talking about this? I'm the secretary of the product committee. I'm not a body member of the product committee. I'm just representing them today as the secretary.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about that. I think also in relation to a separate topic, which was mentioned also earlier by Jack, I think it would be cool to give a little bit of an update about what we're doing in Intersect in relation to membership participation and helping new members find ways to contribute, and of course committees like the product or budget or MCC, they're kind of committees that are providing a lot of value. How do they find ways to kind of participate in these committees or working groups? One of the key goals, or the probably key goal of 2026, will be to simplify and make those processes more visible by adding them into the member area. So the vision is to be concluded overall by the end of 2026, that a new member joining Intersect will be able to see all the open working groups and create a working group through the member area. So that's an easy action for them to do and an easy entry point to start to contribute their expertise. They will also be able to see all the committees, when is their latest minutes, what is the next meeting, what are they talking about, so they can join and observe. And if needed, they could then later on apply to be part of that committee. The goal will also be to simplify submitting the proposals, right? So that if a committee member, if an Intersect member or a working group member, they have a proposal for a committee, they have a clear path to say, look, I have this idea, I would like you to discuss it, I would like some feedback. There is an easy path, so they know how to do it. And more broadly, I think something that is also going to be valuable in the next election in April is starting to visualize and make it accessible to members, seeing the participation, right? So have you been elected in a committee? Have you been part of the board? Have you been part of a working group? Did you join an event? So kind of showing what was your level of participation, so that when you apply for a committee or simply you want to contribute, every member can see what's your history in Intersect, what's your contribution. So this is some of the stuff that is coming in future town halls. Abs will bring also some more visual support to this as well. And I guess that is all from me. I'll pass it back to you. You might very well be frozen. Or is it just for me? It's looking very intensely. It's back.
Yeah, now I'm back. Sorry, I think there was a massive glitch. I think, Lorenzo, you're sending your glitches to me now.
Yes.
From your computer to mine, which is absolutely fine. I just want to add a few things that, working as the secretary of MCC, and of course on the membership, there's a lot of exciting things coming up. I'm working with Lorenzo, a lot of the committee members, where it's the MCC or the GMC, product, all the committee. My main goal this year, and our main goal, should be all the committees working together, making sure that the community members feel the benefits, and that's a very, very important information I wanted to mention. And of course, you're going to see some benefits coming in very soon. You don't have to wait for the next budget. I'm sure Lorenzo and we have been speaking about some updated benefits already coming by March end, if not earlier. So yeah, look out for that on the membership area. Also, I have reached out to all our enterprise members. If I'm reaching out to you guys from here on the live streams, if all the enterprise members of Intersect, if you guys are interested in showcasing or giving your benefits to our members, please get in touch with us, me in particular, or Sanjaya from MCC, or any of the community members, just to make sure that your benefits are showcased to our members, and it's given to our members and rest of the community. So yeah, with that being said, there's a good transition, Lorenzo, because our next segment is really the committee updates, and we've got Sanjaya from the MCC and Anuj from GMC to talk about a few of the updates from their committee. So the stage is yours. Whoever wants to take it first, guys. You can play rock, paper, scissors on.
Sanjay can go ahead.
Go on, Sanjay.
Thank you, Anuj. And hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you're tuning in from. Super excited to be here to give you guys an update on what the MCC's been up to. So January has been very busy for us. It's been a month for us where we set the tone as a committee for the rest of the year in terms of operations and what we need to basically provide for the community. I think Abs gave everyone a little bit of a spoiler on what we're working on, but more on that as I move forward. But so one of the main things that we've actually been focusing on is streamlining MCC operations. So that means, what I mean by that is newer elected members coming into the committee would have a more in-depth understanding of what the committee's role is and what they need to focus on for 2026. So there's going to be less time figuring out the operations and processes of what needs to be done for the remainder of the year. And also, in terms of MCC operations, we've also introduced the weekly MCC open office hours. Now, this is happening on X, and this is more of a platform for our members to jump in and ask the committee members any raising or burning questions they have, suggestions, or even feedback, to be honest. So that's happening every single Monday. I get the times confused a bit because we've been experimenting with the times. Abs, if you could just point that out later after I'm done. I think it's 2:30 p.m. UTC, if I'm not mistaken. So that's happening every single week, and we do invite most of our enterprise members onto these spaces as well, just to highlight what they offer in terms of services. And that moves on to the next segment, which is enhancing membership experience as well as finally bringing in the membership benefits to the greater community. And so the MCC has been working very hard, ABS included, in reaching out to the enterprise members and seeing what we can incorporate for the 2026 budget. So, like ABS said, there is going to be a couple of benefits that may roll out towards the end of March rather than waiting till um, hopefully June, July. But rest assured, there's going to be some very enticing benefits for our members. And apart from that, one more thing that we're working on for the month of Jan, and something we're trying to roll out along with the benefits, hopefully for the budget request, is the revitalization and expansion of community hubs. Now we've taken the community sentiment in mind as well, and we're trying to make KPIs and hub milestones more transparent. Whereas the process where the community is fully aware what the hubs would be up to if the hubs get reactivated. So there's less confusion as we go forward. So these are some of the main things that we're working on. I mean, for the month of January, this is what we've been working on. But I'm very excited to see what we can get to the end of by March in terms of membership benefits and the hub section of what we're working on. So fingers crossed, everything goes well, and hopefully our members will be able to enjoy everything that the membership benefits have to offer. So yeah, we do have more updates coming in. I don't want to spoil everything for everyone, so we have a couple of updates for the Feb town hall as well. I'll keep that to myself for the moment, but yeah, so far so good from the MCC. Abs, if you like anything to add, that would be great. You've been a tremendous help with reaching out to the enterprise members as well, so thanks for that. A big help from your end. So if you have anything to add, over to you.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the timing is correct. It is at 1 p.m. UTC. I know you're mixing up. Yeah, I know. I was also thinking, is it 2 or 1? It is 1 p.m. UTC. That's when our next space is. It's every Monday, and it's an open office hour. You guys can come in. We had CF come in. We had Midnight come in. We have a lot of guys coming in to just talk. And if you have anything that we can improve on, I mean, that's the main thing. I'll put my hand up first. There's always room for improvement in every angle. So we don't mind hearing the constructive criticism and improving on it. That's the key to everything. So yeah, with that being said, I want to also now give it to Anuj, the mic, and tell us a bit about what's happening at GMC.
Hello, everyone. This is Anuj from Growth and Marketing Committee. A lot happening right now. We started with some different perception this year, particularly as we always talk about that Cardano ecosystem is always being like talking within its community chamber. So more initiatives where we are bringing external parties that are not the part of the community, but they are well aligned when it comes to the blockchain ecosystem. For example, people from Polkadot community, right? Because they had the similar governance structure. So we can learn about what they did, whether they are their failures or their success, right? Also, recently there is a presentation by Service Plan, how they are structuring their communication strategies for enterprises. So we are learning more, and there would be more communication will be coming from a GMC soon in the form of GMC survey, and also kind of an external perception index. So these few things are coming this quarter, and we'll get more point of view and perspective to the overall strategy and KPIs when it comes to growth and marketing front.
Thank you, Anuj. Before I go to the next part, I do want to mention, Sanjay, do you want to talk a bit about the grid? Or shall we leave that for the next next hour? Yeah, we leave that. We leave that for the next town hall. Cool. So thank you guys for all coming in, and I think we have hit the 50-minute mark. I think that's a good time to stop. I just want to say thanks to everyone, all the 178 live viewers right now. Thank you for joining us. I want to thank everyone who came today to the stage, Jack, Simo, Lloyd, and then Lorenzo, Mike, Lara, Anuj, Sanjaya. You guys are all fantastic. Thank you for your time. I know everyone's busy. It's a busy month, and it's going to get only busier from next month on. So I'm looking forward to really having more calls with you and working alongside in cooperation with you guys for the next 1 year and more. So thank you very much for the time, and see you guys next time. Thank you. Take care. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.